Hey everyone, I'm Frank of Knuckles Channel 3 and Knuckles, and welcome back to another Sonic without defeating a Badnik. It's the series where I play as many Sonic games as possible to find out whether or not I can beat the game without defeating a single Badnik. This time, we're going back to 2D and heading to the Game Boy Advance with Sonic Advance. It's the first game of the series to be released on a Nintendo platform and took the series back to the second dimension. I've beaten the game once on stream, which is actually something I do up to 3 days a week, so if you want to check it out, my Twitch link will be in the description down below. Anyways, I beat it and had some mixed feelings towards the game itself, but I think it gets the job done for those who want their 2D Sonic fix. The rules are simple. In the game, I cannot destroy a Badnik, receive points, and release the animal inside. It has to be all three, which seems to be how every enemy works in this game, so that'll be easy to keep track of. Of course, I'll need to defeat the bosses to keep going through the game. That's kind of how these work. What's interesting is that my original plan was to use Amy Rose, but it became quickly apparent of how easy this would be. So, I'll be playing as Sonic. If you enjoy these videos, be sure to like and subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to comment as well, because the YouTube algorithm seems to really like that, and I think we need to please our number-crunching overlords. So please do that. Now that that's taken care of, let's answer the important question. Can you beat Sonic Advance without defeating a Badnik? Let's find out. Neo Green Hill Zone Act 1 is pretty straightforward. There are plenty of opportunities to avoid enemies such as the Gami Gami and the Kiki. Taking the spring at the Kiki gives some time to just go fast, and I really enjoyed that. The Kero Kero even jumps over Sonic, so we can really just go at full speed. I am avoiding any kind of rolling, but I'm still having a good time. In fact, I finished Act 1 with no problems. The next act becomes more of the same thing, until I missed a platform and destroyed this Rhino tank. After a restart, I make the jump and barely missed the Kero Kero. I would have loved to continue on the higher path, but I really wanted to go on the slowest rail grind in history. In the last portion of the level, I kid you not, I was waiting for this other Kero Kero to go away. Guess what happens next? Yeah, I destroyed it. One more time, I damage boost through and got to the fight with the Egg Hammer tank. And I don't have a very good MC Hammer reference, so we're done here. Let's keep going. Secret Base Zone Act 1 doesn't have a lot of enemies. Of course, it will depend on the route that you're taking, but I only really came across 3 of them. One being the Mago and the other being the Senbon. The higher segments had very few Badniks, so going through this one was a bit of a breeze. Act 2, and once again, I stuck to the top. The Tentao isn't much of a problem since I can damage boost through them, and they fly back up, so they're not a huge issue for me. The Mago is no problem because I can just wait for it to hide, and use that as my opening. From that, there's not a lot of Badniks until the boss. Fight the Egg Press, and Secret Base is over. That was unusually easy. It's also not much of a secret. Let's keep going. Casino Paradise Zone Act 1 is similar, where the Badnik placement is very forgiving. They tend to be in open areas, so the slot, Hanabi, and the Pierrots can be easily avoided. I think that's how you say its name. The slots are usually high up, so shorter jumps will get you through, while avoiding them completely. And the last Pierrot is the only one I need to damage boost through, but after that the act is over. I'm also reading in my script, I spelled the as T-E-H. You would not believe how many times I have done that. I have terrible muscle memory when it comes to typing. Either that or I'm just trying to type the owner. That's a reference that not a lot of people are going to get. Now that we're at Act 2, something seems really off. I swear, I only saw 3 Badniks through this entire level. The Pierrots and the slot. No kidding. Only 3. I mean, sure, I tried to fumble around with these balloons to get to a higher route, but the red spring made me rethink that. I hate those stupid red springs. Anyways, at the boss, I fight the Egg Ball, and that's it. Casino Paradise is over. Ice Mountain Zone Act 1 has a few things that can be a problem. There are patches with snow that will slow you down. Thankfully, the Yukimaru isn't much of an issue. In the snow and near the spike, even though I damage boost through it, this Badnik, known as the Pen, is also not much of an issue, and no, it's not a ballpoint. Underwater, the only surprise is the Drisame, which makes me really glad that I wasn't jumping. After this awful spring and pen placement, we're done. Act 2 is where the game really throws enemies at me. There's this pen in this cramped spot, and a bit further down are these Drisames that pop out of the wall. Funny enough that the Kura is the least problematic enemy, and I still managed to slide into it, because of course I'm the one that messes it up. Aside from that slip-up, it's time for a crappy boss, the Egg Spider. Because if the drowning music doesn't trigger anxiety, the spider has you covered. Next zone. Angel Island Zone Act 1 has changed a lot since the last time I was here. At the start, the Leons are ready to accept defeat from unsuspecting players. Fun fact, these are also the same enemies from Sonic Adventure. Ugly looking suckers. Aside from that, I make an attempt to avoid the buzzers to go right into spikes. And after a long period of nothing, I avoid another buzzer, continued my hatred for these springs, and I am surprised by a Rhino tank to finally run into a pit. Yeah, this totally feels like a Dimps level now. Thankfully, there was a checkpoint nearby, and this Leon is easy to avoid. With that, the level is... Wait, the checkpoint was that close to the end? Oh my god, they knew. Act 2 was alright until I got to this. There's a bunch of Leons with these moving spike platforms, so I will either take damage, defeat a Badnik, or be crushed. I lucked out because the top platform isn't as cramped as I thought it would be, so all I had to do was damage boost twice to get me through. After avoiding a Rhino tank, it only took another 10 seconds to fall victim to another bottomless pit. Joy. One close call later, and then it's the boss fight, Mecha Knuckles. This one's a little tough, but after one death, he goes down, so let's keep going. Egg Rocket Zone's gimmick is having multiple sensitive... All you have to do is insult it and it just defeats itself. That's terrible. Egg Rocket Zone's gimmick is having multiple time-sensitive sections. Just get through each one in 5 minutes. So I start by falling in a pit. To be fair, that happened because I was trying to avoid rolling. Oh, and my first game over. Believe it or not, there wasn't much going on with this first section. I mean, yeah, there were Mogus and mirrors. By the way, those are mirrors. But they weren't much of an issue. The second section adds more enemies, but again, the Mogus weren't much of an issue. There was a point where the mirror's projectiles made one of the jumps pretty tricky, but it was still manageable. Well, after dying to spikes and pits, it became manageable. The final section is where the entire level starts to drag. More beginner spike traps and one new enemy, the Oct. Actually, I'm pretty sure I saw this in the previous section, but this is the section where I really noticed it. They shoot projectiles downwards and they're easy to predict. Then the level ends. Anyways, let's keep going, because we're at Cosmic Angel Zone. I'm really starting to think about how I got to this point. Anyways, it's an okay level at the start, not stuffed with too many obnoxious enemies, and has a few traps where I would tend to expect them, like the Mogu in the middle of the U-shaped ramp. Okay, that one was my fault. Completely understood. Or even the pop-up spike. Really? So later in the level, there are these segments where I had to maneuver Sonic between the mirror's projectiles and the spikes, which I thought was a fair challenge. And then this happened. Wonderful placement, Dimps. Oh, but the last part is even better. Blind falls into spikes. Just wonderful. And it gets even better. The boss, the Egg Snake. I burned through so many lives trying to go through this atrocity, which also meant I had to restart the level thanks to another game over. More spikes, and more jank from this stupid thing. With a lot of luck, Dr. Eggman is finished. Or is he? We both know where this is going. Because yeah, there needs to be a final battle. Even though I think the Egg Jank rope would have sufficed, we actually get 2 retro bosses in the X Zone. That actually sounds pretty cool. The Egg Mobile H from Sonic 1 and the Egg Mobile D from Sonic 2. After I defeated those 2, it's time for the final boss. This is the Egg X. And after a couple of deaths, I decided to just cheese the boss. This is what you do. You're going to want to hope that this is on the right side of the screen and just jump into it. With a lot of luck, it will never go to the left side of the screen. You can just damage boost like crazy, and the boss is finished. This is literally how I beat the game the first time. And after all of that, the game comes to a close. So, can you beat Sonic Advance without defeating a Badnik? Yes. Yes, you can. I know I'm going to be asked about the Super Egg Robot, the true final boss of the game, but he's just that, a true final boss. So hunting for the emeralds isn't necessary since I still made it to an ending. I'm sure it could be done if I took the time to learn how to play the special stages, but it wouldn't change the answer. What I do appreciate is the fact that you can return to the same save file and attempt these special stages, and from what I've looked up, getting the Chaos Emeralds as one character gets the Chaos Emeralds for all the characters. Thank goodness. As for my thoughts on Sonic Advance, I think it controls well. I didn't mention the small air dash maneuver I was using during the challenge, but it is pretty useful here. I'm sure it's a bit more situational in a standard playthrough, but I liked using it when I was intentionally trying to use it. It's a shame that the negatives that people bring up from games developed by Dimps start to show around the midway point of this game. Let's just say I don't appreciate their love of spikes. And with all that, that's going to do it for today's video. I apologize for the long wait, but stuff happens. I'll do my best to get another video out to you soon. But if you want to see what kind of Sonic games I might look into for this challenge, or if you just want to talk about Sonic or gaming in general, you should come by the Twitch streams. I stream up to 3 days a week. Link will be in the description. You can also go to my Twitter page, which I tend to be active on some days. I'm not as consistent, but I try to be active. Same for my Discord server. If you enjoyed the video, click like, and if you want to see more but you're not subscribed yet, you can subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon to get notifications for new content and for new community posts. But at this time, I want to give a shout out to the members of Knux Club Plus. These are the YouTube channel members, and these are the individuals who are supporting the channel in a bigger way. And to all of them, whose names are on screen right now, I want to give a huge thank you to all of you. Your extra support is greatly appreciated, and it really means a lot to me. If you want to support the channel in a bigger way as well, you can find out how to do so by joining Knux Club Plus. You can find out by clicking the join button below this video, and if you do, thanks. Speaking of thanks, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you for the next one. I'll try to make sure it's not a couple of months later, but I can't really promise anything. But there will be a new video soon. Take care.